Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry about my throat being still scratchy, just still getting over this thing. It's getting a little better, but it's just work in progress. It's gonna take time, but still, returning to you for Mary J. Blige's new record, Gratitude, that I got a chance to listen to as of now to let you know what I think of the 12 tracks on this record for this 41-minute record. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for Mary J. Blige's Gratitude album and let you know my thoughts on this album overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with Breathing featuring Fabulous. Uh, Solid track for sure. I think this track did have some good points, but the way Mary J. Blige was singing it, there were times I had my opinions about it, but overall execution wise, it still performed alright. It's a good track. So this is a 4.5 out of 5. Fabulous's rapping is pretty good. And Mary J. Blige at least tried with her vocals, and it sounded good for what it was. So 4.5 out of 5. Need You More featuring Jadakiss was actually a pretty good track. Really did dig this song for how it sounded overall. So pretty much the feature songs are probably the only catchy ones that I enjoyed. Most of them are. But overall, I think Jadakiss's rapping was good. And then you have a Mary J. Blige singing pretty good in this track. So this track did work for how it sounded structurally. 4.75 out of 5. Beautiful People is a good track in its own way. Not one of my favorite tracks. It's solid for the runtime. But overall, it's a 4.5 out of 5 for this one, too. I don't know. This one did have. I had a few critiques with how it was structurally sounding with her vocals. But overall, like I said, it's a 4.5 out of 5, in my opinion. In my opinion. Sorry, my voice is still cracking up a bit. You Ain't the Only One is a good song in its own way. Uh, Mary J. Blige's singing does have its good points and its weak points, but overall, at least she made it work for this track. Okay. And I really dug some of this track, so 4.5 out of 5. Never Give Up on Me is a about above average song. Not one of my favorites. It's one of the least favorites on this record, but I think it's fine. I think Mary J. Blige did have her vocals get a little shot in this one. I mean, she at least performed it all right, but I had a few critiques with this one. But overall, structurally, it's an above average song, so 4.25 out of 5. It's one of the weakest ones on the record, but it's not a terrible one for how it sounds structurally. Nobody But You is a good song in its own way. I do dig how Mary J. Blige is singing this track some of the time, and I have a few critiques with how it's sounding overall, so this is another 4.5 out of 5. I didn't hate how it was sounding overall. Here I Am is a good track in its own way, too. Um, didn't really hate this song for what it sounded like, so 4.5 out of 5. I think her vocals did sound pretty good in this one, but there was a little bit of mixed opinions with this one, in my opinion, with how the melody was sounding. So it was nice for what it was. 4.5 out of 5. Don't Fuck Up is a song I do dig, but I have some critiques. So this is a 4.5 out of 5 as well. Most of the tracks did get a lot of 4.5 out of 5s, I'll tell you that. The last two were my favorites. But overall, Don't Fuck Up was not a bad song for the runtime it was going for, like under 3 minutes. But it's fine for what it is, 4.5 out of 5. Superpowers is a good song in its own way, too. Didn't really hate this one either. I wasn't sure if Don't Fuck Up was the same song as Superpowers, but Superpowers was a different melody, and it did sound pretty alright for what it went for. So, 4.5 out of 5. Can't Wait for You is a good song too in its own way. It's the 10th track on the record, and it structurally sounds alright for the melody. So I do dig it with Mary J. Blige's vocals from time to time, but structurally there's some critiques, but overall 4.5 out of 5. God's Child did have a good beat to it that I did enjoy, and Fat Joe sounded pretty good rapping in this track. Mary J. Blige's vocals were a lot better in this one, and I do dig this as a featured artist with the feature artist Fat Joe in it. So God's Child's getting a 4.75 out of 5. Pretty good song in its own way. One of the highlights from the record. I Got Plans featuring Ferg is the last track on the record, and it's a strong track in its own way. It's another 4.75 out of 5. I do dig how Ferg was rapping in it, and overall Mary J. Blige's singing in it was pretty strong, and this track did blow me out of the water in some points in the track. Had a few critiques, but nothing major. It's just a little minor critique with how it was repetitively going into the chorus quite a bit. But overall, it's fine. It is what it is, and it's a strong track in its own way. 4.75 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think this is better than the Good Morning Gorgeous album from 2022. This is a step up in a good way. I think it's a good album for what it is. I had a few critiques with some tracks, mostly the Never Give Up on Me. It's just her vocals sounded a little off in that one, in my opinion. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best. But overall, structurally, I think this record actually pulled it off for what it was going for. So if I were to give Mary J. Blige's Gratitude album a score, I'm giving it a good 8 out of 10. It's a good record. Definitely recommend you guys check it out for sure to see what you think of this record. This is the album that came out on November 15th. And now I'm going to go listen to the new Marilyn Manson record, which that leaked early. But I actually am not getting it premiered till like the 21st. So definitely tune into that when it does drop, that review that's going to have a premiere date, premiere set up for that review. But other than that, there's another album or two I got to get to, a couple albums I got to get to, and go. I didn't hear the Enrique Iglesias album this year, but that's an album I'll probably will go check out before the end of the year, probably very soon. But from what I listened to with this record, I did enjoy a good majority of songs on this record. So, 8 out of 10 for Mary J. Blige, Gratitude for her new album. Hopefully you enjoyed this album review this afternoon, and thank you guys for watching.